This is called self-powerment. I am a long-range Tesla battery that I can go 340 miles per charge. However, I get tired. And when I am on a long trip, I need to stop and charge myself regularly. Without it, I cannot achieve any kind of success nor transformation. So I'm here today to talk to you all, the room filled with change makers, about generative AI, which some people say it was a buzzword or a hype, and I'm going to talk to you about that, as well as transformation. And this transformation isn't only about the organizational transformation. It's also about individual transformation. And the reason being that I have worked in insurance carrier side and also on the consulting side now for quite a while. And then I realized without individual transformation, there is no organization transformation. If you agree with me, please raise your hands. So how do we achieve individual transformation during the era of Gen AI? That's what I want to talk about. But before that, a very wise mentor advised me I have to establish my gravitas every speech, and she's right there with me. So I am Palin Corbinese. I have been in the industry for a while, decades, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here because I want to give love back to the world, and I also want to help individuals transform, and in order to help their organizations transform. That is my purpose in life. I did not get to that point easily. It took me quite a few transformations myself to get to the point to realize that I want to give love back to the world. I want to give, I want to help people transform. And the reason being, we are all a product of our experiences. Many of us have childhood trauma, should I say? Well, many of us have experiences in the organization where we don't feel we are seen or heard. And many of us still struggle with balance in life, with taking care of ourselves, because many of us are in the grind, like what Debbie is saying, the wise woman. I am still in the grind. I am transforming myself. And then Gen AI happened last year. Generative AI happened last year. This is only about a year ago. Do you know why this technology is significant? It is because it's not a hype. It is here to stay. And nobody knows a lot about it yet. So this is a fantastic opportunity to pivot your career, to learn, and lead. Transformation starts today. So now go to the boring stuff. I won 3 different awards for leading digital transformation in the insurance industry. And my last award, it's less about what I did, because when I did something, I was a subject matter expert. I was a domain expert. But the last award was about a lifetime achievement for championing women and minorities in the industry. Thank you very much for that, because that's my purpose in life. And I am so grateful somebody was able to see it, recognize me, and honor me because of it. And I did not get there all by myself. Do you know who submitted all these nominations for awards for me? My industry friends. The friends that I work with, the friends that saw me as I was, even though my bosses didn't. My boss and my bosses thought that just because they promoted me to be a VP, pay me a good, fair market salary, I would be there for life. And I wouldn't ask for anything else anymore. And I also wouldn't be smart enough to say, hey, listen, change the payment method, team. If you change your payment method from debit card to credit card, you are going to get $25 million in the next 3 years. Can you believe that insight hasn't been implemented yet? All right, so the life is not only about money. We're implementing use cases where you would gain a lot of revenue or premium dollars in our insurance industry. It's also about making people feel you are empowered and self-powered. So this is what I want to talk about.
Hello, tech enthusiasts. I'm Palin's trusty sidekick. We're here today to show you how generative AI, like me, can be your very own personal assistant, helping you stand out in this fast-paced world. Palin had me do all the work for this presentation. Look at her, cool as a cucumber while I do all the heavy lifting.
All right, so there are a couple things. This is how amazing AI can be now, and that's nothing in comparison to what is happening in the background. And do you know who did this for me? My 23-year-old assistant. But did you see the hallucination the AI did? All right, frankly, I feel I'm much prettier than what the AI did. This is just an image of me. And then we combine the image with the script, and this is what happened. So self-powerment, using AI as your partner. So generative AI is your agile partner. And this is where we can get involved, figure out what is transformational for you and what you want to use generative AI for in your personal lives. Not for your organization yet, because if you don't use it yourself, how would you sign up for any kind of use cases for your organization? It's too far of a stretch. So if you can figure out how to use generative AI for yourself, for efficiency, innovation, your daily tasks, think about that. Here will be some examples for you to see what you can do. I use AI in my daily lives all the time, including generating this PowerPoint to present. So first of all, I want to talk about what the difference is. There are some misconceptions about AI, generative AI. AI is the big umbrella of a lot of technology, a lot of learning, math, coding. So AI is like the kitchen, a big kitchen, where you will have many things, and within it, there is ML. ML, machine learning, is a cookbook. And I know many of us know about ML, and many of us are data scientists. I'm looking at one right there. And you have a team that are doing ML to predict premium, lapse rate, anything you want to. But that has been around for years. So generative AI is nothing new. AI has been in our lives for 20, 30 years. So when you're thinking about regression model, that was a version of AI. Now, DL, that's deep learning. Deep learning, you can think about it as a modern restaurant. So you can take in all kinds of raw data, unstructured, structured, and I know that there was a question over there yesterday about unstructured data. Yes, you can take in unstructured data. You can take in the future, human as unstructured data to learn about who you are and who you want to be. Lastly, generative AI is a culinary robot because you will learn from all the information you give it and understand what to do next and do a better job than you can. But then you have to stay in it because you have to correct the mistakes Gen AI may make. See the hallucination? I thought about having my assistant change the facial expression of my robot a little bit earlier so I don't look like this or fat cheeks. But then I figure, you see me, so you can see the hallucination, and that's where the humans come in.
Hi everyone, I'm back, and finally, Palin gave me the spotlight. So I've got some awesome use cases will empower you by taking over your mundane tasks. Imagine having your very own personal AI personal assistant who then organizes your travel schedules, appointments, and meetings without breaking a sweat. Handle those boring bill payments and task assignments, making sure nothing important slips through the cracks. And don't you want to manage your online presence too? With sentiment analysis, you can track how people feel about your brand on social media, assess the emotional tone of your interactions to respond more empathetically. Let's meet Jasper, your one-stop shop.
Jasper is here to help. It's an app that uses AI to help you create any kind of content you need. It's like having your very own robot sidekick with an infinite supply of ideas.
Customer, it looks like your account problem is user error. It's a little confrontational. What if we lighten it up a little bit?
Jasper can fine-tune the voice and tone of your writing. Sorry to hear about the problems with your account. I'll make sure everything goes smoothly. Smiley face.
Nice. Jasper, can I get that in Italian?
Naturalmente.
Sweet. Blog post is done in record time. Now I just need some images for it.
Jasper can even generate custom art based on your prompts.
Which is incredible. So would you like a ridiculously huge promotion?
I would be okay with that.
Who's your new friend?
I'm Jasper.
I don't work for Jasper. I am sharing with you tools that you can use to help yourself, to be self-powered. So then I don't need to clone myself. I can do double amount of the work and nobody would know the wiser because all I need to do is review and critique it. So that's something to think about. Now, let's talk about our industry. Our industry is on a journey. This is what the journey looks like. It's not a 45-degree line. It's actually an exponent. This is the transformation the industry is going through. And you will see that at the bottom, and you can take a look at this, and you don't have to share with me where you think you are, but you will see that there is the low level of business value, and these are the transformational values on the left, and there's process or optimization, and there's the advanced integration, where you have real-time risk alerts, deep predictive analytics, and adaptive fraud detection. And finally, in modernization, this is an area we all want to and wish that we're at. But I would also be very honest, bits and pieces, I work with a lot of carriers, bits and pieces, many people are just simply not there. And that's okay, because we're on a journey together. It's about how fast we want to go or how we want to transform the organization in order to get to these places. Here are some of the examples I want to give you about automation and process optimization, creating a center of excellence to figure out where the talents will come in and how you how do you upskill your talent and how do you reach that speed. Speed is going to be a primary focus in this conversation because we are all on the journey of transformation. It's a matter of how fast we want to go. I know yesterday Janet from AltaWorld talked about how important people are and that she rather the team transforms versus having an expected speed that she needs to meet. I love that idea. So that means we need to transform people, right? We need to get people there in order to speed up. And over here is a cloud migration and modernization for a global application development with global shoring. And I know that's a little scary. Why are we giving our jobs away? I will talk about that a little bit later. Eventually, when you come up here, you can modernize, you can have automated FNLL, you can have a code-based modernization, automatically translate your code from one language to the next, optimize the programming code, and then troubleshoot it, give you the data dictionary you have always wanted. So democratize your data. So all users, you don't need to be a programmer anymore. You can just ask a question, and then you get the answers. How nice would that be? My boyfriend doesn't even do that. Now, here are the digital initiatives that I see in the industry. These are different use cases, and a lot of them are Gen AI specific. And you would see whether they are high ROI, high effort, or low effort, and high ROI. As you can see, there's only a few in this bottom right quadrant where there's high ROI and low effort. And there's a lot of use cases that's on the left. It's a low ROI, but some are actually high effort, specifically for the technology projects. Please applaud if you think you have a lot of technology debt in your organization. Yeah, I know that. I work for many companies that have a lot of technology debt. And then what happens is that when you have that technology debt, you start prioritizing your projects differently. You only prioritize the compliance project first, right? And then you need to keep the lights on. And innovation is where? Down here. It's a big problem. So how do we solve that problem? And here are the reasons why projects actually slow down or fail. Soft skills, all soft skills related, change management, communication. I recently didn't have a boss for about 3 months, and I had no idea whether I was getting a new one. And finally, my new boss showed up. He had to introduce himself to me. I had no idea. And that's lack of communication. That is a change management skill, because we need so much change management in order for people to understand, to be on board, because ideas are not bad. You need to have this consensus decision making. And I know some people think that is slow, but it's not. It's only about communication. And the second one is we also have long tenure workforce, and let me be specific with this. It's not just because you have long tenure workforce and then the project failed, was slow. It's only because we haven't made the effort to do a lot of upskilling yet. And there's a talent acquisition. We all know how hard it is to hire people. And there's also CEO and leadership. Depending on what kind of CEOs you have, some are so willing to modernize. They're on the front end talking about transformation. And some really take a few steps back and tell you, oh, $25 million? You keep on talking about it. But we cannot make that an exception for our organization. Why? Because compliance is number one. But you can solve it if you fix the soft skill problem and also you solve the people problem. And that's where individuals can contribute to the organizational transformation. We have a crisis in the insurance industry. 50% of the executives planning on retiring in the next 10 years. And 80% of Gen Z talent aspire to work with cutting-edge technology. And we're trying to get there. We're trying to have cutting-edge technology, but we don't yet. So how do we source the 50%? What do we do with that? Rini is telling me that I need to hurry up, so I'm going to say, the career opportunity in the era of Gen AI, and this is the important part. Automation will come first, And then we need to think about cost optimization, because automation will give you the cost optimization, and then it will give you the enterprise business model pivot. And automation, underwriting, claims, process, and repetitive tasks, internal mostly, and global sourcing and partnering. Because right now you can use AI as your partner, or you can use global sourcing to really shore up on the skills you don't currently have in the next 2 to 5 years to get to understand what your new enterprise business model should look like. But most importantly, you need to have the AI ethics, and you need to keep human in the loop like this. Now, optimization with AI automation, some research I did, as well as the industry, currently, this is where we are in terms of estimated AI automation and carrier savings in 2024. You see, it's not too much yet. It's some. Efficiency means internal efficiency, and these are the cost savings. But then in 2023, it's going to be like this. And the reason why it's 2023, because AI is not hyped. It will change the world. And earlier, my conference roommate, Audrey, make a point to tell me that it's not only about generative AI. Everybody's transforming, and that includes products, everything else, organization, right? But the way I think about it is the fact that the technology is a foundation of everything. And when you have that foundation, everything else would pivot because of it. So if you don't change your business model, it is my prediction in 10 years, a lot of market share will be lost, especially when you are in the voluntary space. So now, if you optimize costs with partnership, this one is banking financial services. That's 30% currently. This is how people are optimizing, by outsourcing. And where do they outsource? They outsource cybersecurity, app and software development, next gen, generative AI, and IT infrastructure services. Because it's much easier to find these kind of resources offshore, anywhere, and they are half the price. So you get that technology in, there are going to be there are going to be weaknesses because there are going to be gaps, and this is where you come in, pivot your career, drive the effort of this optimization, and get yourself upskilled. So now, with business model optimization, currently, this is where we're at. Product development, operations, IT, and different functions in our organization. Currently, this is where we're at. Now, the current plan, we always have this plan where we want to save 10%, right? I'm sure you're familiar with that. And the current plan optimization, if you are on the front leading the industry, you will experience a 26% savings over time in the next 5 years. And then if you go a little bit further and you really figure out how you do digital by design with low complexity, with high level of self-service in your organization and with your customers, and you do greenfield operating models, so not doing the same thing again, and again. Change. Change makers make changes. And this is how you can get to a minus 39%. And this will happen in the next 10 years. But we cannot do that without having milestones and roadmap on what we do. So think of it as going on a journey with your organization, with yourself. Figure out how you want to be self-empowered, what you need to do. But first of all, you need to build a foundation of trust with your team. So nobody thinks that they are going to be out of a job, so they will embrace technology. And then you want to future-proof your talent by upskilling your current workforce, by outsourcing, so you can get the skill in. And then you want to move towards strategic cost optimization. Start thinking about how you pivot your business enterprise model. But then this is often happens, even with individual transformation. You go backwards before you can go forward to pioneering new frontiers. And you want to do this because you know why? You want to be centered. Take care of yourself first, take care of your organization, and drive that car to sustaining excellence. Thank you very much.